for invitation and for organization this excellent event, excellent conference. The same as Dr. T. After so many reflection after previous sessions. So instead the introduction of my presentation, I would like to share a few reflections in the beginning. First one is that when we are analyzing the issue of migration and also, of course, refugees, we are very often analyzing systems, relations between systems, institutions, as it is also in Agenda SCG 2030 said. And I think that sometimes we forget about the people, about these migrants. And I'm glad that during this panel, each presentation will be exactly on the people and particular problems that we are faced with, and it is also the challenge of migration. The second aspect, I have to say it because of my interest, is about the role of constitutional courts in this migration issues. It is the first question how we treat constitutional courts and what are our expectations from these bodies, because normally constitutional justice, constitutional courts are the guardians of the system, so these general matters are important. And of course we have the second aspect, protection of individuals, protection of on human rights, and I would like to answer the question why, for example, in Poland there is no cases on refugees, for example, before constitutional tribunal. It is because of our construction of constitutional complaint. We can't complain the decisions of courts, the decisions of administrative bodies. So when the candidates for refugees or refugees wanted to complain, for example, the decision, it is possible it is impossible in front of the constitutional tribunal in Poland. So we have no judgments in this case. But of course, the constitutional tribunal, as other ones in the Europe, are the guardians of the system. So they can verify the relation between hierarchical accordance of legal acts. And in Poland, we have those legal acts. These legal acts are also connected with foreigners. They concern refugees, but till now there weren't a lot of problem with the accordance of this act with the constitution, so we have no a huge jurisprudence on it. So today I would like to show you the general basis on freedoms and rights of foreigners in Poland, especially refugees. And after that I would like to tell you about the basic legal acts which determine the manner of exercising those rights and freedoms, and finally show you the examples of legal solutions, the aid for refugees in Poland based on those legal acts. So, from the beginning, I think that those two provisions, Article 30 and Article 37, is important to understand the status of foreigners and also refugees in Poland. First, of course, is Article 30 about the dignity, which is the source of constitutional freedoms and rights, and the legislator did not differentiate here based on citizenship criteria. So this means that provision applies to anyone, and certain obligations of the state and public authorities arise from it. Also to protect migrants, foreigners, refugees. This article is connected with Article 37, and this article states that anyone under the authority of the Republic of Poland enjoys the freedoms and rights guaranteed by the Constitution, even social and cultural rights. However, in the case of foreigners, also refugees, exceptions to this rule may be specified by law, by parliamentary act, which means that it's constitutionally permissible for certain freedoms and rights to be guaranteed only to citizens at constitutional level. While this applies to personal rights to a lesser extent, so these personal basic rights are rather for everyone on the protected on the level of constitution, then the social and cultural rights for foreigners are guaranteed not on the basis of the constitution but on this parliamentary statutory level. And for example, in Polish constitution, the right to social security, the right to equal access to public funded healthcare services, the right to establish schools are only for citizens. The Constitution of the Republic of Poland guarantees many social and cultural rights also to anyone, including foreigners. And in this context, what is the situation of the refugees? The most important act, in my opinion, in this issue is Act of June 2003 on guaranteeing protection to foreigners on the territory of the Republic of Poland. This act was enacted before entering Poland to EU, and it harmonized Polish law with EU law. And it described this protection. This is a big act, over 140 articles. We learned that this act defines the principles, conditions, and procedure for granting protection to foreigners within the territory of the Republic of Poland, as well as the competent authorities in this matter. It is also connected with aid to a foreigner who is seeking refugee status or complementary protection. So this proceeding on those status is also here described. Who can benefit from the aid? Of course, in the Act there are a lot of provision on that, but in general, persons entitled to benefit from it are foreigners who have their place of residence and stay in the territory of Polish in connection with obtaining refugee status or subsidiarity protection in the Republic of Poland. Their peoples entitled to benefit from social assistance, apart from persons with Polish citizens, are also foreigners who have their place of residence in stay. So therefore, foreigners can use social assistance benefits after completing the procedure of legalization of stay, for example, obtaining refugee status or subsidiarity protection. Refugees are entitled to this kind of support, social assistance and medical care. And what is interesting, in the social assistance is also contained this matter of cultural rights. Additionally, foreigners applying for refugee status can be provided assistance in event on their transfer to another member state responsible for considering their application for international protection under EU regulation. And also they can benefit this aid. What does social assistance cover? Accommodation, because this aid could be granted for refugees at the refugee centers or for the refugees outside the refugee center. In the refugee center, there's accommodation, all-day collective meals, and or cash equivalent in exchange for meals, then pocket money for small personal expenses, whatever does it mean, permanent cash assistance for purchase of cleaning and personal hygiene products, one-off cash assistance or voucher for purchase of clothing and footwear, and here learning the Polish language and the basic materials necessary to learn this language. So we have here cultural rights, teaching for children, cost of recreational and sport activities for children, and financing travel, transport, but it is only because to support this procedure of granting international protection. Assistance provided outside the center is consisting the payment of a cash benefit to cover the cost of stay in the territory of the Republic of Poland, excluding the cost of medical care. So this social assistance is something different in the meaning of the legal act than medical care. Foreigners receiving social assistance in the form of the cash benefit are entitled to assistance in the form of learning Polish. Also, they can get teaching aids, cost of this recreational sport activities, and financing of travel by public transport for purpose of taking part in proceeding to grant of international protection. On this picture, it is one of the refugee center in Białystok. So it is not this kind of refugee center as we know sometimes from the pictures of Greece or something like that. Very nice building. And there are over 10 similar in the whole Poland. So it is look alike. Of course, there are also excluding if the refugees don't follow the rules in these refugee centers or the rules of law, they can be punished and they can not get this aid. And medical care includes health care service to extent that person are covered by compulsory or voluntary health insurance on the basis on regular legal act, the act on health care service financed from public funds, but medical care is provided on the basis of civil law contracts concluded between the head of office of refugees and health care providers. The list and addresses to these healthcare providers are put in the website, and there's a lot of these healthcare providers, so the refugees could use them in easy way. The website of the head of the office of refugees is in many languages, and there are also paper information on it for the refugees, so you do not have need to have access to internet to follow it. And it is general information on this social and cultural rights which are developed for refugees on the basis on the general act, but we have another thing. After starting the war in Ukraine, Polish Parliament enacted Act on assistance to Ukrainian citizens in connection with armed conflict on the territory of Ukraine. And the aid based on this act is prolongated to 30 June this year. Last week, same prolongated it. The act lays down special rules for the legislation of the stay of Ukrainian citizens who came to the territory of the Republic of Poland. It is a special statute than this general statute. So you can't use from the beneficence of this first statute and this second. So, for example, when Ukrainians apply for refugee status, he or she can use the status and benefits of this special law. What are the examples of the support based on the Act? They are also connected with social and cultural rights, and they are they are better than in this general Act. There are supports in employment, the possibility of registering an unemployed or looking for a job, and entitlement to social benefits as Polish citizens. They have also medical services and access to medical products, excluding spa treatment and rehabilitation. So refugees could use medical services, excluding spa treatment and rehabilitation, and Ukrainian based on this act, medical service and access to medical products. Also, psychological aid, food aid, and support for people with disabilities. And what is interesting, this aid is granted on the base on regular acts which are provided for Polish citizens. Yes. And finally, to sum up, we can say that from the Polish constitution it is possible to derive guarantees of social and cultural rights for foreigners and therefore also for refugees, in view of the fact that protection at the constitutional level is provided to citizens the implementation of these constitutional and statutory standards should be sought in statutes, and the statutes are approved, and they are not very often a problem for the entities, and they are not complained in front of the Constitutional Tribunal. In Poland, there are laws and administrative services dealing with a given matter. Also, there is a lot of NGOs which cooperate with government and self-government in granting this aid. And given standard resulting from Constitution, international law, as it was said in previous session, and it is implemented the legislator. I can say that these two statutes on aid for foreigners and refugees are in the framework on the constitutional and international standard, and it bounds, and in practice they are used by public administration bodies, and I think this aid is not so bad. We have quite good system of helping those people, and these offices work very nice. So we can say that the minimum standard is fulfilled, both in constitutional, international level, and also in EU level. Thank you very much.